A job is something all of us have to do to get by. Those at the top tell other people what to do. Everyone else has to obey in order to take care of pesky things like rent and food. Not everyone is cut out for all the positions out there, though most of us try to do our best with the one we have. Then there are the weird jobs that you've never heard of. In fact, you probably wouldn't know where to begin if you got one of them. Nevertheless, all of them exist and are consistently looking for applicants, if you know where to look. These aren't run-of-the-mill, 9-to-5 affairs. Instead, they require specific sets of skills that you can only obtain once you get them. Number 5. Professional sleeper. I wish I could be paid for sleeping is something most of us have thought at some point in our lives, mostly right after we have to wake up to go to work. It makes sense, too, as sleeping is amazing. But what if we were to tell you that you could actually get paid to sleep? In some cases, you'll earn a lot, depending on where you sleep. A professional sleeper is a serious occupation and provides services that are required in many modern industries. Although it's not your typical full-time job, you could earn a sizable income if you land the right gigs. From researchers, who regularly need sleep testers for various experiments, to mattress brands that need sleepers to test their products and artists who require sleeping subjects, professional sleeping could be a lucrative career if you advertise. Number 4. Professional mourner. The death of a loved one can be difficult to deal with, and everyone copes in his own way. Some people mourn for days before getting their lives back to normal. Others shut themselves away until they can be around people again. Still, others take it one step further and get professional mourners to do their grieving. Although it may sound weird to the rest of us, these mourners are dedicated professionals in quite a few parts of the world. Professional mourning has been a thing for thousands of years in many regions, including Africa, China, and ancient Egypt. However, China is mostly where it's still big business. The job consists of showing up to the funeral and staging a believable session of mourning complete with physically breaking down and wailing. This may sound alien to the rest of us, but it's completely normal in Chinese culture. These pros can also earn quite a bit depending on how good they are. Number 3. A futurist. Many current jobs have never existed before, including that of a futurist. If it sounds like someone who sits around all day and makes predictions like a fortune teller, it absolutely is, except that the predictions have to be backed by data. It is one of the more accessible jobs on this list, though not for scientific fields. In fact, anyone can apply to be a futurist, as many new age firms are starting to see the importance of the position. A futurist's role is to study current data and make reasonable predictions about future trends based on that information. A government may employ a futurist to predict social changes in order to estimate taxes in the future. An advertising firm may try to find out what kind of messaging consumers are likely to respond to 20 years from now. Depending on your field, a job as a futurist can be as awesome as it sounds or just entail data crunching all day like your old job. Number 2. Food stylist. Over the years, food advertising has come a long way. If you've ever seen a food ad and thought, "Wow, that looks good," it's not because that's how it's supposed to look. Instead, a highly specialized type of professional called a food stylist made the food look good for the camera. If food stylist sounds like a joke, we assure you that it's absolutely not. You can go to your local employment listings website and find a posting for one of these right now. The job is not easy to do either. Apparently, styling food is an art form that you master after years of persistent practice, which also involves know-how of photography and videography. If you do get your foot in the door and become a food stylist for a local firm, you may work your way up and someday get to style food for the big brands. Needless to say, that pays quite well. Number 1. Odor Judge. Smell is an important sense, which is apparent by how many products rely on it to make sales. From soaps to deodorants to candles, how a product smells is as much a part of its commercial success as its appearance. So, who is in charge of making sure that things smell the way they should? You guessed it, presumably from the title of this entry. Odor judges determine the best smell for a particular product. Obviously, they have to go through plenty of bad odors, like those from armpits, to come up with a deodorant to counter the smell. It may sound like a horrible job, but it's also a crucial one. They also deal with issues like whether a particular type of seafood is contaminated by a nearby oil spill. Of course, you must have a keen sense of smell to qualify for this job, and it may end up paying quite well if you work at a large organization. Thank you for spending some time with us. Be sure to like and subscribe.